week we're live in North Park and we're filming from True North Tavern. If you've ever been to True North, you know they have something going down every single night of the week. So follow me, we're gonna go check it out. I'm Clare McKee, this is The Know. Episode, we're chatting with a millennial attorney who just caught her hair on fire last week. Golden West is also here and they're going to be telling a rental nightmare story you're not going to want to miss. And later in the show, we're going to be playing some blindfolded pool. So it might get a little weird and I have a feeling you're going to want to stay tuned. My first guest, without further ado, is Kelly DeFord. Kelly, come on over. Hi Kelly, it's so good to see you. Okay, so your hair looks to be intact.
I said I'm lucky that I have a lot of it because it wasn't that bad, but I also said I needed a haircut because I was trying to recover the best I could from the whole situation. So
you gotta tell us, how did this go down? It's not every day you catch your hair on fire, so what happened?
So
and you were at a wedding.
Yes, I was at a wedding of like my husband's good friends from college. We hadn't seen them in like 5 years, so it was a great way to like reintroduce myself to the group. And they're like, who is this California girl you married? But yeah, so we were at the wedding, gorgeous wedding at the Bowery in New York, like historic, beautiful hotel. Over the top, did not realize how beautiful it was gonna be. Yeah. With that, they had the budget for a lot of table candles. And so I was sitting chatting. My husband had gone to the bathroom. I was left alone with all of his friends and, you know, ready to impress them. And I started chatting with one and I turned my head and I was telling a great story and then somebody yells, her hair's on fire. And I looked down and my hair was in fact on fire, and so I have some new layers.
Was it like blazing? Like, can you just paint the picture for me?
Yes, and it was also like slowly crumbling. You know, as a female, like you've worked really hard to get your hair to grow a certain amount, it looks a certain way. Yeah. And like you're literally seeing like your work slowly dissipate into like it was so not cute in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, so people are yelling like SOS, her hair's on fire.
Yes, and
I'm
trying to be super calm because there was not a very nice human being on the other end of the table who had been giving me a hard time all dinner long, so I didn't want to look super stupid in front of him. So I'm like, I'm gonna play this off like it's no big deal. Plus I'd had like a couple of margaritas by that time, so I think if I had been like completely sober, it would have been a lot worse because I would have realized fully what was going on. Yeah. But I think my reaction, and I can't fully remember, which is like how probably blackout embarrassing it was I'm pretty sure I did something along the lines of this. I don't know what I was thinking.
So you just put it out with your hand, you're like, shit.
I can't be 100% sure, but it was mortifying, and then I smelled like burnt hair. You know that like
the worst
curling iron?
When you do your straightener
but it wouldn't
too
go
high.
away for like a good week. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't tell. I think her hair looks great, and I don't think your husband's ever gonna leave you alone at a table again.
Probably not. Although he knows I can handle myself. So, but the good thing is that the girls around me were super supportive. So that's all that matters.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love when you have a good girl gang to have your back.
I agree.
But that's also a major part of why we brought you here today, is because you are such a badass lady. You have your own business. And you're also really passionate about advocacy for women. So tell me a little bit about how that came about.
Yeah, so I'm an immigrant from Ireland. We moved here when I was 8 years old, and my whole family is back in Ireland. My brother and I are the only ones currently still here. I'm a dual citizen now. Okay. And so, but when my mom was growing up in Ireland and when I was even there, women were very much treated like second-class citizens still. And so things like contraception wasn't legal, divorce was not legal when my parents got married. Women had to give up their jobs in the 1980s when, up until 1980 when they got married.
1980, like that was not long ago. Yeah. I had no idea.
Yeah, and Ireland is a wonderful place. Culture is amazing. People are great, but people don't always understand that factor also. And so when we came here, my dad always used to say, like, I can't wait to see what you do with an American education, living in America as a female. And so I took that very seriously. Initially, I wanted to be a lawyer because I wanted to be a deputy DA, which is what I did at the beginning of my career. And I really wanted to help people. And so I kind of took a skewed path, so to speak, because I was at the DA's office for a certain period of time. But then when I had an opportunity to do my own thing, I knew that working with women, both female businesses, providing them freedom and the ability to access law, and then also like I take on some pet projects on the plaintiff side dealing with like sexual harassment, discrimination against women, pregnant women, etc. I don't just take whatever case walks in the door by any means. I don't have the time on the plaintiff side because we mostly represent businesses.
Okay.
But if it's a case I feel super passionately about, I actually feel lucky to have them in there. And they thank me a lot, but I really truly feel like I feel lucky to be able to be the one who stands up for them. So that's a huge part of my practice.
We should have you announce our guests like that.
Bring on the next guest.
My next guests today are Jason Yoss and Yuri Jacobo from Golden West Management. Come on over, guys.
Oh, hi. Lovely to see you.
Wait, let me slide through here. Good to see you as well. Get comfortable.
Thank you.
So we're chilling at the bar today. How are we doing?
Great.
Good.
Great, you said that with vengeance. Good.
Well, what's today? Tuesday?
Today's Tuesday.
Feels like a Monday.
Well,
I'm
you just
excited
got
to be
back.
here.
You've been traveling. Actually, and now that I think about it, the last time that I saw Yuri was for my birthday party earlier this month. And if you know Yuri likes to party. She's a good time. Yuri didn't drink at my birthday party. So, just throwing that out there. Do you remember that?
I do remember. You guys looked wonderful, and Yuri had to leave early for some reason. I don't remember why.
You have to keep people on their toes, you know? Not give you what you expect. So.
It's true. It's true.
Just
It's fine. My
opposite
birthday just comes around once a year, but no big deal. So, you guys, it's amazing to see you. Thanks for being here. You guys have the most amazing stories. I mean, stories for days. And one that really stands out that I just couldn't help but be like, oh wow, is apparently one of your employees has been chased down with like a fire hose, a gardening hose. Can we talk about that?
We can talk about that, right?
So, I mean, we have so many stories, but that one really sticks out. I think at that point the tenant felt like we were just out to get them. And I mean, just doing our service, going to post a nice little notice, and she was already waiting. So
She was ready for you.
Well, set the scene. Set the scene.
Set the scene. Hit us.
This is a resident who had a little bit of rough patch with the homeowners association where she lived.
Okay.
And they had continued to send her fines. And so eventually it got to the point where the management company had to step in and give her a notice saying, if you don't fix what you're doing, they're gonna hit you with these fines heavily or ask you to leave.
Okay, so she's making the HOA very angry with
Right.
her. You guys step in to just say, hey, like something's got to change here, right?
Right. And this is also in a senior community, so everybody's 55 and
Oh.
older. And you wouldn't believe how the neighbors, they were at each other's throats. So, the good gunner sergeant, Michael Ricks, property manager, former USMC, he was tasked with going to the property and posting a notice.
he was already well aware of what the situation could
Okay,
be. So
so-
he was already kind of like in the trenches waiting for it to happen.
Right.
And when
Looking over his shoulder, like,
like already crawling over, and there she was just waiting for him.
I think all 6'3" of Mike definitely low crawled to the door. He was hoping that they weren't going to be there. No such luck. So what happened was, as he was taping the notice to the door, he didn't even want to like actually ring the bell or something.
No.
Boom. Resident appears in the doorway, starts chirping at Mike. Mike slowly starts to back away. She goes for the hose.
she goes for the hose.
From what Mike said, he had to enter into full-on dead sprint as she grabbed the hose, turned the water in like 2.2 seconds, and was firing at Mike.
It's like she had it on and ready to go. She was prepared for this moment.
He's like, with the quickness, I was out. That's what Mike said.
Did he come back to the office all wet? Was
He had great. He was. Imagine Michael Ricks telling the story. It was funnier than we could do, but
It was pretty funny, and that just goes to show you like what we do as property managers. You always feel like everything's going to be so hunky-dory, but when you're faced with a hostile situation, I mean, you have to laugh about it
Right.
sometimes.
and we are talking about people's homes, and so people can get really sensitive. That's their domain, and they're like, don't tell me what to do. But as property managers, you want to make sure that they're obeying the laws, that they're safe, that all parties involved are happy, right? So tell me a little bit about the property management company. How are you guys doing things differently?
right. So first and foremost, communication. All right, we are committed to being the best communicators out there in the property management world, in the property management industry, and not just to our clients, but to the residents, to the vendors, to the referral partners that we work with. That's number one, first and foremost.
We do say that we will get back to you within 24 hours, whether it's a question or whatever you may have, but we will let you know at least like I will find out for you.
Sure.
Well, I will get back to you at said date. I think
Goes a long
communication
way.
is just so important in our industry.
Yeah.
And even if it's not going to be done, we will communicate this can't be done.
Sure.
Overly communicate sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you honestly, I'm a firm believer you can't communicate too much. Like over communication, that's probably like not a good thing for dating. But you know, you just want to be communicative, and so
Nobody likes to be left on read.
Red?
Red. Sorry, I'm not dating lately.
left on
No,
read.
it's true though.
Sorry.
Left on scene.
Can't go wrong with the communication. But the other thing I was gonna say is the fact that you're really focused on property management only. So you're not managing just one or two properties. You have how many throughout the county?
We have over 1,400 properties, and like you were saying, what sets us apart is we're not happen to be realtors who are also renting out homes. We're licensed agents focused on property management. We don't do sales,
Right.
so no stepping on toes, no
That's really
stealing
important.
clients, right? No theft.
Yeah. And for your vendors and referral partners, that's important when they refer you business that they know that that's going to come back to them in the end and that you're not just going to shell it out to someone else.
Right. Who wants to get a letter 6 months down the line saying, oh, you know, I said that I was going to honor your client and send them back to you, but no, we're going to do sales now and we're moving on. We've had realtors tell us that we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
I think one of the most important things that sets us apart that I haven't seen any other property manager in the industry do it is we do have a mantra that we live by, and I think you know it.
Oh, girl, you know I know it.
So it's rent it like you mean it.
Rent it like
And I mean, from A to Z, whatever
hashtag?
that
That's it.
encompasses. Yes, it's a hashtag.
He was
Look
doing
it
it, I
up.
couldn't help it. I was
Hashtag rent it like you mean it. So whenever we come across an owner who doesn't want to maybe spend the full amount on doing some sort of repair, are you renting it like you mean it? Or we always go back to
That's a
that.
good question to ask. We're hanging out at True North Tavern and it's time for some blindfolded pool. Yuri, you're gonna be our first victim. Are you ready?
Down.
So here's the rules, you guys. We're gonna put this little blindfold on you. And Jason is her partner, so Jason's gonna have to sit in that chair. You can't get up, you can't move, you have to sit like a statue, a little mannequin if you will. And you have to direct Yuri to get that ball in a pocket. All right, Jason, it's on you to tell her what to do from here.
Well, we need to start with a pool cue. Yuri, I want you to turn to your right about 45 degrees. Stop. There you go. Yeah, that's a pool cue. You just touched it.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, that's a stick. Oh, my bad.
Oh, I'm looking for the stick.
Oh, good. Okay. Just grab. There you go. You got it perfect. Now, a little more. More. Boom. You are center. Okay. Put the pool cue out. Right on the white ball. So we'll go. Yeah. The point of it. Slide a little bit of that. Oh, got it. Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna go for it.
That was solid. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there you go. Now, aim nice and easy.
Aim.
Oh, well, there you go. That was good. Okay, Yuri. Pull it down again in front of you with the ball. Bit up, right. To your right. Yes. 2, 3. We actually did so good.
You're such a good story.
Wait, it was only one ball?
And then put your left hand to the left till you feel the edge. And then move forward a little bit with your hand. There you go. That's the full stick.
Got it.
Okay, good job.
Got it.
Okay, so pick it up and then put your left hand down and feel across the table. We're gonna want you to go all the way to the other side of the table because that's where the white ball is. Okay, the white ball is not.
I bet you're good.
Yeah. Who needs to bring Well, that was some blindfolded pool. I hope you guys really enjoyed. Thank you all for being such amazing sports and playing with me today.
Yeah.
Even though you kind of took a beating, I'm just saying.
It's true.
Right?
You were doing work.
Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. I'm Clare McKee. This has been The Know.